Hey everyone, Zotac again, welcoming you to Game 4 of a Best of 5 series from the final of the 187th edition of the Zotac Cup. And this time on Derelict Watcher, we've got spawning in the top right as the Orange Protoss, representing Team Planet Key Dynamics, and coming from Germany, we have Gungfubanda. And his opponent is spawning in the bottom left as the light purple Zerg. Representing Team Acer and coming from Canada, we've got Scarlett. And so right now, Gungfubanda does have the 2-1 series lead over Scarlett, winning games 1 and 3 by using the patented proxy to gateway rush. I think this is a wise strategy by Gungfubanda. I think Gungfubanda understands that Scarlett is a high caliber elite player in the world. And so, you know, you got to work to your strengths and you got to work with your weaknesses as well. And if you don't think you can defeat your opponent in a macro style game, you got to cheese it up once in a while. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And it has been successful before. And it also forces your opponent to change. In Game 1, Scarlett went for hatchery first, and it looks like in this game and in the previous game, Scarlett is going to be going for the spawning pool first. Because this is a 2-player map, and so Gungfubanda could pull some hijinks again. Now, it doesn't look like he's got 2 assimilators and a gateway in his base, so this might be a more standard game. But still, it might be a, I don't know, 2 gateway, blink all in. It could still be a very aggressive opening by Gungfubanda. So Scarlett cannot rest on her laurels. Now here on Derelict Watcher, what is something of interesting to note is that this map is quite large for 2 players, and the area is quite large as well. So as a Zerg player, spraying that creep can be a little dangerous or difficult, because through the middle here it's quite large, and you have to pick between the south and the north areas. You also have a lot of entranceways over here around the debris, and on the north side as well. So to spread that creep effectively around the map can be quite difficult for a Zerg player. Now, as a Protoss player, it's quite easy to defend your natural. You can just put a lot of gateways here. And it's quite close to the third as well, but it is a wide open area for both players. So Derelict Watcher, if you want to see some really big battles, this isn't Red City where there's a whole bunch of crevices in the way, then Derelict Watcher is definitely one of the prime maps to do that. Gungfubanda is going to be putting down his expansion nexus, while Scarlett's expansion hatchery is already up and running. And Scarlett looks like she will be droning up quite heavily right now, and will be sending quite a few Zerglings to the natural to figure out what is happening in Gungfubanda's side of town. The Zerglings are going to be able to hack away at that pylon. Now, the Zealot has to be very careful, because if the Zealot is too far away from this ramp, the Zerglings could easily just run up the ramp and start causing a lot of havoc to those probes. Well, it looks like Scarlett will just have to settle for picking away at this pylon. But now with this sentry here, with that addition of that range and the Mothership Core, I don't think the Zerglings are going to be able to get much scouting done or any more harassment. So Scarlett is going to retreat for the time being. Now, we are at the 5.5 minute mark, and Scarlett is going to start with her spread creep. We've got 2 tumors immediately, and I think this is very wise. And it looks like we've got a 3rd queen ready here. Maybe plop down some creep tumors from the main to the natural. And this is one aspect of Scarlett's game that I really do enjoy. I really think that she focuses on that creep spread. And some pro players don't really focus on that creep spread that much. But I think creep spread is very important as a Zerg player. It gives you speed, it gives you initiative, it gives you vision. And worse comes to worse, even if you don't utilize those things, it does, you know, a free punching bag to your opponent for a little bit of time. So it does delay the onslaught if the opponent is coming to your base just a little bit. So I think these free creep tumors, other than a few free clicks, is totally worth it, and Scarlett is capitalizing on that fact. Now that proxy pylon set up by that probe is not going to be able to survive. It's been spotted immediately, and Gungfubanda should cancel. Yes, he's going to cancel that pylon. At the same time, it's been destroyed. So masterful timing, I guess, in that regard. And Gungfubanda is going to be moving forward with that Zealot and Mothership Core, but I don't think this is really advised. We do have quite a few Queens here and Zerglings. Now, Zergling speed is only halfway finished, so Gungfubanda does not have to worry about the speed of the Zerglings for now, but Gungfubanda doesn't actually know that. So it might be a little bit dangerous for Gungfubanda to move ahead. So it looks like Gungfubanda is able to see that there is no third hatchery up as of yet, and it looks like Gungfubanda is going to move forward. He's got 7 Zealots here, quite a few Zealots. Mothership Core is going to be moving in as well, but that Spore Colony is going to force that Mothership Core away. The Zealots are going to be able to chop down on that Spinecrawler, but 2 Transfuse is going to keep that Spinecrawler alive, and now the Zealots are going to have to run away. At the same time, we do have 2 Oracles here, but with those Spore Crawlers, not Spore Colonies, it's going to be difficult for those Oracles to do some damage to those drones, so they'll have to settle to chopping away at those Creep Tumors. Interesting, using the Oracle ability to be able to detect the Creep Tumors. I think this is the first time I've seen that. Generally Oracles don't want to use that ability for that, but if you can't harass the drone line, you might as well destroy as many Creep Tumors as you can. And that's exactly what Gungfubanda is doing. But we've got lots of Zerglings for Scarlet. We've also got the third hatchery plopped down. The Oracles are going to be able to spot it at the exact moment. And now the Zealots are going to move forward. But we've got so many Zerglings here from Scarlet. This is very interesting. Is Scarlet's hatchery is going to be canceled. The Oracles has too much firepower. But unfortunately, all the Zealots are going to fall for Gungfubanda. So I don't think that was a very good trade. Resources lost is fairly even. But the army size of the Zerglings is quite substantial. We've got 20 Zerglings already. And it looks like another drone has been dispatched to put down that third hatchery. Now Gungfubanda is going to move around to look at his third. Oh, someone's lagging. It's you. I get nothing. Me. Very interesting. Scarlet says it's you. Interesting. I'm not sure how Scarlet would know that. But anyways, Zerglings are going to be able to strand 1 Stalker, so 1 Stalker will go down for free. And the Zerglings are now going to skedaddle away from this war zone. So great pick-off by Scarlet. Now remember, Scarlet doesn't have any anti-air other than Queens. And so the Mothership Core can pick away at these Zerglings constantly. So Scarlet is going to retreat for the time being. Oh, very interesting move by Scarlet. Getting some creep spread from that Overlord even before the hatchery is finished and putting down Creep Tumors. I think this is a wise move by Scarlet to link those bases, so just in case if this hatchery can't finish to get that initial creep spread, she'll already have substantial creep spread already, combining the bases so Zerglings and Queens can reinforce the locations a lot quicker. And it looks like Scarlet is going to go for another run-by, but Gungfubanda has a lot of sentries and stalkers here, so Scarlet is going to stop for the time being. At the same time, Scarlet's going for her fourth base, and if Gungfubanda doesn't take down one of these bases, and or doesn't really expand well, I mean, Gungfubanda does have his third base up and running. So Scarlet having this 4th base is not necessarily an I win button for Scarlet, but I think Gungfubanda really has to be aggressive here. Because I think in a longer, macro-intensive game, Gungfubanda is going to fall behind and lose like he did in Game 2. So Gungfubanda is moving across the map with his 2 Oracles, looking for some drones to feast on, and he should be able to get a few here. There is 1 Spore Crawler, but it is far away. So able to pick off a few drones, but not that many. Able to kill 6 drones in total, but that really doesn't doesn't make the Oracles pay for themselves as of yet. So those Oracles have been generally not that effective. And Scarlet has substantial creep spread as well at the 13-minute mark. She's almost halfway through the map. So Scarlet is getting her creep spread going. She's getting it going actually every single which way. I mentioned at the beginning of this replay that Scarlet, or Zerg players in general, would have a difficult time spreading the creep, but she's going north, she's going She's going to the east. She's going south. So she's taking this creep spread everywhere. And that's the advantage of getting that creep spread early with so many queens. And it looks like with so many Mutalisks now ready and out, and we don't have that much anti-air from Gungfubanda. He is going to try and force some Corsairs. Excuse me, not Corsairs. Phoenix is out. Man, StarCraft 1 is still heavy on the brain. Trying to get some Phoenixes out to deal with the Mutalisks. But we have a lot of Mutalisks here, and with only 3 Phoenixes, the Phoenixes can kite the Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks are doing substantial damage to the core infrastructure of Gungfubanda. And now with the Stalkers here, the Mutalisks are going to have to retreat. Now, that Blink Fort is very dangerous, able to pick off one more Mutalisk, because with this ridge, that would mean the sentries cannot actually assist the Stalkers. At the same time, we do have a lot of Zerglings pecking away at the frontal. 2 cannons. The cannons are going to survive. But now the Mutalisks are going to be able to feast on a few more drones at that 3rd base of Gungfubanda. The pylon will go down as well, depowering that gateway. And no Mutalisks failed. So it looks like Scarlett was able to pick away at that infrastructure of Gungfubanda quite well. And if we take a look at that supply, Scarlett has built a commanding 40 supply advantage, and it's also taken a 5th and 6th base at the same time. So Scarlett is just everywhere, and now she's got about 20 Mutalisks with +1 weapons upgrades flying directly into the main base. Going to focus down on that cannon. The cannon is not going to survive. Goes down immediately. The Mothership Core goes down as well, but not before that Planetary Nexus cannon is able to get off. So it looks like the Mutalisks will relocate themselves. The Stalkers are going to be able to blink forward, and the Phoenixes are going to reinforce this area as well. But we've got so many Mutalisks. But the Mutalisks are going to have to back off, at least for the time being. A couple of them are in the deep red, and it looks like with the Zergling and Mutalisks, they might combine forces to attack the front door. But Scarlett is going to think better of that and split up her forces for the time being. Now, as I've mentioned, Scarlett does have her 5th and 6th base up, so she's going to get additional reinforcements that are closer to Gungfubanda. So Scarlett is being very aggressive here, and now she's maxed out. She's got 50 supply advantage over her Protoss opponent, picking away at these free Stalkers. The Phoenixes are going to come in here, but we do have 2 Corruptors, so now the kiting might not work as well for the Phoenixes. And now the Stalkers have been pulled out of position. They are going to have to move forward into the main base, focusing out on these Mutalisks. The Stalkers are going to blink forward, getting a few shots on these Stalkers, able to kill a few. But Scarlett still has supremacy of the air. I want to find out. We've got 25 Mutalisks in this army composition and 8 Corruptors. And it looks like the Zerglings are just going to rampage through the front door, able to peck away at these 3 frontal cannons. At the same time, the Mutalisks are looking for some Protoss blood at that main base. It looks like the Zerglings have just been moved to the front. Now, a lot of force fields are going to be able to block off where the Zerglings are able to go. The Zerglings are able to surround the Zealots as well. Phoenix is focusing down on all the Mutalisks, and Scarlett is going to back off for the time being. Gungfubanda is playing very defensively, and unfortunately, he's not paying attention here. He's going to lose 2 Phoenixes, and playing defensive may be okay. Now, he's sending 2 Dark Templars to the 6th base. Should be able to do some economic damage, but it doesn't really matter if you're losing all your probes at home. The Mutalisks are doing substantial damage to this probe line, destroying a lot of these defenses, and the Mutalisks are going to be able to scoot away once again. Now, we do have 1 Dark Templar at the 6th base, like I mentioned, hacking away at this hatchery. Another Dark Templar at the natural. The Queen is going to go down, but we do have a Spore Crawler here. So these drones will fall, but finally the Zerglings will be able to surround and destroy that Dark Templar. That 6th base, that Dark Templar is still whacking away at that hatchery. No detection there. So it looks like a small victory for Gungfubanda. He will be able to destroy at least one of the bases. But the resources lost is in favor of our Zerg player, and he has just so many more resources to play with. And now that main Nexus will be focused down on. And it looks like the Dark Shrine will go down first. Now the Phoenixes are moving into position to defend, able to kite those Corruptors and Mutalisks. And I think what Gungfubanda would like to have here is Psionic Storm, but he's not getting that. He's focusing more on anti-air. And Phoenixes are not that great against Corruptors. And it looks like this battle is very intensive. A lot of the Stalkers are falling here. The Corruptors are focusing down on the Phoenixes. The Mutalisks are focusing down on the Stalkers. And Gungfubanda is going to say GG. So he's going to have to tap out. And now the series is going to even up 2-2. We take a look at the resources lost at the end of the game. Quite substantial for Gungfubanda. So Scarlett just played a commanding air game, identifying that Gungfubanda didn't have that much anti-air, and is able to take the 4th game convincingly. And then we're now going to be forced to a game 5, a deciding game 5, to find out who will be the winner of the 187th edition of the Zotac